Hey now, Adam Reaver, fu-tone.com here saying check out Nez Says.
And we're finally live. And you're tuned into Nez Says, a place where musicians can get together and inspire each other to play more guitar. Today is Thursday, January 28th of 2021. How's everyone doing tonight? Ty, how you doing?
I'm good, Dave. Happy Thursday. Always
you
great
too.
great to be with you on Nez Says every Thursday night. And Dave, I'm super excited about our show tonight and about our special guest. He is a very accomplished musician. He's an extraordinary guitar player who has recently founded a custom guitar company. He is an artist. He's a technician. He's a craftsman. And in full disclosure, he happens to be one of my childhood friends. And our audience will appreciate this. This is the person responsible for introducing me to the mighty Van Halen. But today we're here to talk about what he is doing today. He's a guitar builder, and his innovative designs are rooted in his many years of playing experience. And that experience guides him in crafting exceptional instruments that play amazingly and they sound incredible. He does everything from the lumber yard to final delivery to the customer. We're excited to learn more about that process, and I'm thrilled he has agreed to join us tonight for a conversation. Please welcome to Nez Says, Mr. Scott Moore. Hey, Scott.
Hey, Scott.
Hey, guys. How you doing?
Good. Thank you for being here.
Thank you so much for having me.
Scott, listen, I'm just so, as someone that's known you for a long time, I'm just really thrilled and excited for what you have, for what you've done and what you've built and how you've built it. You have built it in the way of a true artisan, from a player to a builder, and how you draw on that playing experience that you've had all these years to build these exceptional guitars. So, I mean, what inspired you to first build a guitar?
Just the fact that, doing the woodworking for so long and playing guitar, this is what I want to see if I can do it. If I mess up, who cares? But then, you do it and it works. It's like, well, there's something here. And the hard part of it all is, knowing what a great guitar plays like, to get to that end result. And King Edward made his guitars, tinkering his stuff, so everybody wants to be like him anyways. So that's always a cool thing. But just being able to do it, to see if you can do it, to push yourself, And the funny thing is, everybody says, "Well, you might do that, but what are you going to do about a neck?" I'm going to make it. Everybody made this. You can't make a neck. Nobody can make a neck. Well, you can. It's you push yourself to do it.
So when you say that the key for you is understanding what a good guitar plays like and feels like, is there a particular guitar that you use as a muse, that you use as inspiration?
I always go back to the guitar I cut my teeth on. Me and you actually took a soldering iron to this guitar back in the days.
Probably did.
Not in the control cavity, mind you, just like on the body, just stuff. All right. And that was my Model 2 Charvel. That guitar's got something to it. Still does. My son now has that guitar. But it's it's still got something. That's the neck that my hand makes. You know, when I'm carving a neck, that's it.
Is that where it really starts for you, Scott? Does the feel of the guitar, does it really originate at the neck?
It ends up there, but it's like when you put on a guitar, it's like I've never had a tailor-made suit, but I would imagine that's what a tailor-made suit feels like. You know, it's an extension of your body. When it's just right, it's well balanced. It just, you know, feels like it just belongs in your hands, and that very, very important.
You know, gear today is different from when we were kids.
Absolutely,
it's so much better. It's so much better today than it was back then. Yet we all seem to. We have lots of different types of guests on this show. Dave and I are fortunate enough to talk to lots of different types of players and musicians and writers. And one thing that they all have in common is they all play. One thing that most everyone that watches this broadcast has in common is that they all play and they own more than one guitar. Sure. And you and I have had conversations in the past. Dave and I have had conversations in the past that there's always one more guitar, you know, to acquire.
Absolutely.
You know, there's always.
I only had that one.
Yeah, there's the pursuit is always one more guitar. What do you tell that experienced player, or that guy that's tried everything from the F brand to the G brand? What do you tell that guy about why he should look at the possibility of owning his first custom guitar?
Yeah, okay. Any guitar you buy at any, like, even high-end shop, you're going to have to give it some attention to make it yours, you know. Any expensive guitar out there, you know, it's not just exactly like it needs to be. When I get a guitar done, I'm making that guitar for me until, you know, you play it. And you say, well, I want it, you know, a little different. That's kind of, you know, 100% of the time you're going to have to do something to a guitar. Truly.
It's very rarely that you get two people that love exactly the same thing.
That's right.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. So tweaking it for a player, you know, what do you like? You know, what kind of action you like? Otherwise, I'm making a guitar for me and sending out the door. But, you know, that might not be for everyone. But I would say, you know, it's probably in the ballpark of, you know, very, very easy to play. You know, as we discussed, you and I had before about I play 11s on all my guitars, but they don't feel like 11s. And it's just set up in such a manner that it's, you know, doesn't make sense, but it works.
Yeah. You know, I remember the first time that I picked up, you know, it was your Amber Flame Top Les Paul. The first time I played that guitar,
that thing back there,
right back there. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
I remember how I had never played a Les Paul that was set up that fast before. That you know, my guitars play; they're set up well, but I had never quite played a Les Paul that felt like that. I was taken aback about the setup, and I remember something you said at the time. You were like, "Well, you know, that's the way I have to have it. Otherwise, the guitar gets in my way." Yeah.
Wow, what a great way to put it.
Yeah. Very, very personalized. So, Scott, when a customer calls you and says, "Hey," and I know that you've got 3 pretty innovative designs that you're building right now, and you're really focusing on two of those 3 today. when a customer calls you and says, I'm interested in one of your guitars, and why wouldn't they? Because anybody that plays one of your guitars, the reviews for your guitars are just off the map. I mean, everybody that plays one raves about your guitars. When a guy calls you and says, "Hey, I want you to build me something," where do you start with that customer? How do you get to know that customer to ensure that you're building his instrument?
To see what do they like already. You've got Les Paul people, you've got Strat people, you've got Tele people. Then you've got your people that, I like 50-50. So you kind of start there, and got them, toward Strat, more of the Strat, the white body back here, or, the Tele-ish Les Paul thing, the blue-green. That I start there because any guitar, you're going to be attracted by how it looks. Might be the worst sounding playing guitar on the planet, but it might be beautiful. They start there, and then what kind of pickups, what kind of action, fretboard, neck. I mean, just the whole nine. What kind of contour on the neck, which I have to ask, because getting back to carving a neck, I am gonna make a Charvel neck every time. That's just what I know. That's what my hand knows.
Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, flat radius, thin from front to back.
Yep.
1 3/4 at the nut.
Yes. Yeah. Wide and wider.
Mm-hmm.
Railroad ties for frets.
Or you can do the Warren D. Martini and make it 1 7/8 at the nut, which is really wide, almost like a nylon.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
When you can play like Warren,
Yeah. Who, by the way, I believe is rejoining Rat for one more record.
I heard
that. Is that right? Oh, wow.
Yep.
Cool.
Last record. I think they're retiring after this one, supposedly. Mm-hmm. And Warren's going to be back in the band.
Right.
Well, that'll be exciting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Dave, let's say hello to some people that are in the chat.
Sure. You want to say hello or me?
Go ahead.
Dan in New Jersey. Nez says is here. Thomas Santiago, Guitar Man 45. Charles Green. Ben Coombs, our moderator. Thanks, Ben.
Hey, Ben.
Terry Himes. Mike is himself.
Mike is himself.
Dwight Bailey. Hey, Dwight.
Dwight put out a cool video yesterday.
Oh, I didn't get to see it.
Yeah, Power Surge.
Uh-huh. Ty Price is in the chat.
There he is.
And that's all that has said hello so far. But right now we have 26 people. 7 over 8 is here. Brian Spalding is here.
Hey Jay, hey Brian.
Very nice to see you guys. Hey Jay, how you doing? And we'll say hello to more people as they come in and say hello to us.
Yeah. Jay's got a new track that was released, a Gizmochi track. Thank you for pointing that out, Ben. Congratulations, Jay.
Yeah, I got to hear that. Or have I already heard it? Is that one of the ones you sent me? Anyway.
Oh my gosh.
What happened? Ty froze.
Ty, you keep sending him to voicemail. He's trying to call you.
That's what I said. I know we keep missing each other. I'm sorry. We're going to catch up. We're going to catch up soon.
All right.
So, so Scott, you're playing Charvels. You're young. You're out. You're on stages early. I mean, you're out playing live early, very young age. Mm-hmm. I mean, you were wearing that guitar out as a teenager, and you played it forever. You played it for a long time. Tell us about your first build, and why you decided on that first build.
First build, the Black Pig Guard.
Can we see that? Can we see that? Can we see that up close?
Sure. Let me grab it. If I can break something.
My God, Scott, look at those guns you got. That's crazy.
What?
What's the diameter of your biceps? Jesus.
I don't. What kind of show is this? Anyways, this is solid maple. Interesting story with this. The body design came from, I had a piece of cardboard, laid my Model 2 on it, traced it, laid a Jackson Dinky over that, traced that. What was the Ibanez that Jamie had that had the graphic on it?
I don't remember. I remember it was a super
RG
cool
something?
guitar. Yeah, yeah. Some
Okay,
sort of
those
RG.
three bodies I traced out and got the best of all the lines to come up with this. And I originally just wanted the humbucker and the single coil. And I think at the time my dad wouldn't let me use the router. So he had a oops with this. So I go I go to Eric at Abalone. Hi Eric, eating your popcorn, buddy.
He's a Nessus alum. He's been on the show. Yeah.
So I was like, in my heart, I'm still crying. It's like I almost was in tears. So Eric's like, "We'll just make a picture word for it," and so he did that. Helped me finish it up. This is a NOS Jackson neck. It was a Strat headstock, and now it's not. It's like that. Jackson is wood burn back here on the inside of the heel. Very, 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 very great neck. Very thick body, so it's heavy. It sounds good. And I like it. But yeah, that was
awesome.
inspiration. Thank you. But the white guitar there, this exact duplicate. Was that?
So can you grab the white one for us?
Sure.
The white one is one of your new designs that you are currently marketing
the white
and
one
building.
is actually this one. The new one I haven't shown out yet. But this is my son's guitar. So.
And that was built. When was that one built, Scott?
Probably finished it up before Christmas.
Okay.
Is that a hip shot bridge on that?
It is. Good eyeball. Push pull. So it's kind of like you get a Telly and a Les Paul three-way. I did a bird's eye maple on maple. Wide tall. There's just, this thing, seriously, it might weigh 4.5 pounds, if that. Yeah. So.
Well, everyone in the chat, as you may know, it's very hard to come up with a new headstock concept without infringing on Fender or any other company that has had their headstocks out forever, and have it make it look good. Because most headstocks that are not a Fender headstock are ugly as fuck. Now that headstock is gorgeous. I love it.
Thank you so much. Now, that came from what I had to work with on a Strat headstock, from the old Jackson neck. This is just a very exaggerated version of that.
It's exactly like if someone was to do a caricature, like a cartoon caricature of a Fender. That's kind of it. All kinds of
Sure.
But
it's
amazing.
Thank you.
It's really cool that you have the first guitar that you built, and that you used a Jackson neck on that guitar. You love that neck. You modeled everything on your Charvel neck, but you built this neck. You built this neck just out of a block of wood, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. Every that neck, is Brazilian board, maple neck, I got 2
We're gonna
more
look at
Brazilian.
we're gonna look at
That-
that one in a minute. Yeah.
Okay.
We're gonna.
You know, do the scarf joint, so you got the angled headstock and all that, and
Awesome.
it's
Really
just,
awesome.
you know, I do the reverse because to me this is not reverse, this is normal. Because you're playing guitar, your hand's already here. You know, how is that reversed? It's right there. You know, so
That's interesting.
when people say reverse, it's like, why would you want to do this? Your hand's not even doing that. You're already there. So that makes the most sense to me. I mean, you know, and I may be a weirdo. Who knows? But
Well, man, that guitar right there would look so good on this wall.
we can make it happen. But yeah, it's I like it.
Now
My
tell us
son's
about
ready.
the
ahead.
pickup. You said it was pop, right?
I said what?
You
Excuse
said
me?
it was poplar. Did you say it was poplar?
Yeah, poplar body, super dried out. So it, you know, it's my buddy who paints Trey Steele at Paint Shack painted this. He paints cars and motorcycles and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
Did a fantastic job. It's a, you know, like it's a pearlescent. I don't really know if you can see that coming out, but
Here, hang on a second. Let me see if I can make that happen.
you know,
Oh, look at that neck.
Yeah,
yeah,
that's
it's
killer.
bird's eye.
That's killer.
Bird's eye. Thank
Now,
you.
Now,
are there-
Scott, are you
Go ahead.
sourcing the wood locally? Are you sourcing the wood locally? Where are you sourcing?
Yeah, I get the wood locally. I very particular on grain. You know, you know, you're basically taking a tree and wanting it to stay straight. But you know how your grain is kind of what you want for your neck and all that. So it's I get all that locally. I'm for buying local, and it's just cool to take a slab of nature and turning it into something that you can play. You know.
Now, what pickups did you choose to put in that guitar?
Seymour Duncan, JB in the bridge, and Duncan Jazz in the neck. You can never go wrong, my personal opinion, with that combination. You can always, I don't know, it just depending on your attack or whatever, you can just coax some really cool tones out of what might not be there. You can just kind of get it out. Very responsive pickup. I love them so much.
Can we see the way the neck joins the body? Can we see that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that is kind of really, you know, rounded up.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of washed out with the white, you know.
Yeah,
here.
but I can make it out.
Right.
Looks great.
You get the idea.
Yeah, sure.
That's beautiful work.
Thank you.
Scott, give our audience an idea of how many hours it takes you from the time you get the wood inside your shop to the time you complete that guitar. How many hours do you have in that?
Well, you got, you know, from the word go, if you're doing a book match top, I mean, you know, you've got that glue time. Any time that you're waiting on glue to dry, you need to wait 24 hours. So between doing your scarf joint, that's one day. And then when you get that all trued up, doing your fretboard, that's another day. And this is days of doing nothing but waiting. If you're book matching a top, you know, you do your book match, that's a day. Gluing it on, if you're doing maple on a mahogany back, it's another day. After you get it route, you know, I could, once I get a body off of the bandsaw, I can have it routed and sanded and ready to stain it or send it to be painted in an hour. But then you've got to wait 2 weeks for the paint to cure. So it's I would say a guitar realistically takes 1.5, 2 months realistically.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just me by myself, no CNC machinery or anything like that. That's just like literally doing everything by hand. Which I kind of prefer. It's I won't call it caveman in it, but you're keeping some kind of organic nature to the instrument, which I think is very important. You're using your hands to make an instrument that can use your hands to make music with. So it's like a full circle. And I understand not everybody can, there's, guys that are phenomenal players who could care less about making a guitar. Mm-hmm. And that's fine. Me personally, it's all about the art. This bird's eye maple, that's art. The wood alone is a piece of artwork.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
Then, when you do all this stuff to it, you're basically, you've made a piece of artwork, whether it worked or not. If you just wanted to try it, see if you could do it, good, keep doing it until you get it like you want it.
I'm gonna quote my buddy Larry Mitchell on that guitar. It's a playable piece of art, is what it is.
Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's different than if I bought a guitar. I don't want to mess it up, or I might mess it up on purpose, so I won't be scared to play it. But this, if it breaks, I build another one. It's not a. I know it's kind of bizarre, but if they keep breaking them, maybe I need to rethink it.
I think this is the Einstein behind what you just said, is that you're paying for all of the supplies for that guitar,
mm-hmm.
but it's your guitar. It's just your guitar.
Right.
You're paying, you buy a $3,000 custom shop guitar from Fender.
Mm-hmm.
You just spent $3,000 on it. If it breaks or gets stolen, that's a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
if that breaks or gets stolen, you build another one. It hurts a little bit because you may have loved that guitar, but you made it with your bare hands. You can make another one just like it.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I'd say it would kill me if my Charvel got stolen. I mean, it probably isn't worth anything. I can tell you a funny story about that. Because we talked, he's going to kill me. Eric, eating your popcorn, abalone man. Eric hates that guitar so much that way back in the day, he said, "I will give you $50 to let me burn that guitar." I said, no.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
I'll give you 100 if you let me burn it.
But yeah, it's funny. It's still funny.
Now, I'm not surprised. I mean, since you cut your teeth on a Super Strat,
mm-hmm. Sure.
all those years you spent playing the same guitar. I mean, you were known as a one guitar guy when you were outperforming, and I'm not surprised that the first guitar that you built hanging behind you, that you built in what year, Scott? How old is the first one?
probably, let's see, I was 19, I think, when I did that. So that would have been 91.
91. So you built your first one. You built your first one in 91, and you finished your last one just a month ago.
Right.
Yeah. And they're both super strats. Tell us what you've learned in all those years. You know, in the nearly 30 years that have evolved since you started building guitars. Tell us the evolutions that went into the newer one, the lessons learned since you built the first one.
It gets back to just playability, just knowing how that guitar feels. You know what that you just know it when you grab it, and it's just like, man, I don't know. Probably not a great thing to say. I don't know what it is. One thing that I'm doing when I make these, they all ring acoustically. You know, they just like, they want to make sound, and it's up and down the neck. I used to might think, you know, well, it's because this chunk of wood or this fretboard or whatever, but you know, I personally am not a fan of a maple fretboard, but you know, this is what my son wanted. I did it. It does the same thing.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
You know,
I think I love maple boards. I think it's awesome.
Right. I love maple neck.
I don't like them at all.
No, I can tell that. You got a whole wall of not liking them at all.
Actually, well, I have quite a few rosewood fretboard guitars.
Mm-hmm.
But it depends. It really depends on the guitar. On a Fender, I generally like rosewood, although my main Strat is a maple. I don't know why. It just happens to be that way. But I like the way rosewood feels under your fingers.
Yeah, I mean, I prefer. Well, now I prefer the Brazilian rosewood. You can say that now, right?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
You can say whatever you want.
So yeah. Yes, COVID-21, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just great. I had a Zion once. I had an ebony board on it. I didn't mind it.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty nice.
That's a cool guitar. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Scott, that model right there that you're holding, that's your model 609. And if someone was interested in getting in touch with you and to inquire how they could get a 609 built for them, how would they we're going to include this information in the description below after the show, but how would they go about getting in touch with you?
They could message me on through Scott Moore Guitars on Facebook or Instagram. Message me that way.
Ben Coombs is way ahead of the game. Ben Coombs has already posted a link. Thank you, Ben.
Yes, thanks, Ben.
All right, Scott Moore Guitars on Facebook and Instagram. And that right there is your Super Strap model, the 609.
Yes, sir.
That's awesome.
It doesn't have a cape on it, but you know.
Yeah, but for a few extra bucks, you could throw a cape in there.
I'll put a cape on it.
Case. Yeah.
Do the Paul Gilbert fringe on the neck.
You could, some people might like that.
Right.
Hey, Scott, our friend Jay Hannon in the chat is a 7-string player. He asked, do you build any 7 strings?
I am getting ready to build some 7 strings.
Oh, cool.
Because I myself want one. So. Yeah.
Cool. Which design are you going to build the 7-string on? Will it be on the 609?
It will be on all 3.
Okay.
All 3 models.
Cool. Can we talk about that? Can we talk about that second model, the 50? That's the 57, right?
Yes. Yes.
I love this guitar, Dave. This guitar that Scott's
looks
getting ready
pretty
to show.
incredible.
I love this guitar.
That would also look nice on my wall too, because I mean I am into weird shapes. So
Right. It's a bit of an oversized guitar. I've played it a bit. It's chambered. It's, you know, this whole section here, you know, hence the F hole is just, you know, nothing. Chambered area here. That's a Sapele back. Maple neck, Brazilian board. Put stainless frets on this one.
now, how hard was it for you to put stainless frets in there?
I didn't really notice any difference.
Really? So
I
when
just noticed it took what might take me. I mean, it took me a few extra minutes for dressing and crowning.
yeah, because it's a lot harder metal.
It is.
So did you use diamond files or did you use regular files?
I use my normal files. That,
And it didn't hurt the
that I have.
files. It didn't
Nope.
hurt the files. That's
No, because
fantastic.
I mean, I've done you know, plenty of fret dressing after that, and you know, the situation normal with that on the nickel. You know, so it's I mean, I really can't tell. I don't know that I would do it again. I just want to try them. I did a 14-inch radius on this neck.
Mm-hmm. So it's nice and
Personally,
flat.
you know, I like a 12, but I mean, going up to 14, I really can't. I didn't notice that much of a difference, if any. You know, when I grab it, I'm like, this feels weird. And, you know, I don't do that. It just feels great.
Can we see that top up close, Scott?
Yeah, I've beat it up a little bit. It doesn't look as great as it did when I first made it.
Dave,
But-
can you feature him so that
I'm
we
going to
can
feature
take a
him
look
right
at,
now.
look at that top?
There you go.
Oh, that's gorgeous.
I love the color.
Man, that color. The
That is
design is so different too.
Thank you.
It's great.
And plus, you know, as always, it's got push-pull, you know, for coil tapping. And it's a cool thing. You know what the color is, Dave?
Well, it's like a grayish green.
Well, what I used is hilarious. I used Rit clothes dye to get that color.
Wow.
Yeah. Because it was like $4 a bottle, and the translucent stuff was like 30.
Uh-huh.
I'm like, I'm gonna see if I can get close to what I want with this, and it works. So
Yeah,
I'm
it's got
digging
it's got a greenish tint to it, like a
Yep.
grayish, like
it's
trans
so
black.
bizarre too. You take it out in the sun, and it's just like, you know, more teal or seafoam greenish. So
Scott, how important are ergonomics to you as a designer
Very.
and a builder? Yeah.
very you know, especially if you're performing, I would consider, you know, once you put that guitar on, tailor-made suit again. You know, it needs to be that good. It needs to be an extension of your body. Period. If it feels weird or awkward, or you got a neck-heavy guitar, like the double neck, you know, you're not playing it all night. It's just, you basically want to put the guitar on, take your hands off, and it just wants to just go where, that's where it sits, and that's where you play. You're not having to hold it this way or hold it this way to be comfortable. It's sitting where it needs to go. And getting back to the, you know, reverse, what I would consider normal is that's where your hand is. If I need to, you know, during a song, I'm like, okay, this string's out. I can kind of do it during a song rather than, you know, this business.
You're right.
So it's, you know, it's not fun. But, yeah.
Share with
Ergonomics
us. Share with us the inspiration behind the design. I mean, the design really is unique.
It is. I would consider a more sexy version of a previous design, and it's just much more balanced to me. It's I don't know. You're not gonna you're not gonna do a whole lot design wise that is classy,
hasn't been
sexy, looks cool. I mean, you've got your standards of like, you got your Les Paul, you got your Strat, and okay, what do you do now? There's other things out there that are very, very cool. The guys are,
Yeah.
struck some cool chords on some design features, but it's what's important is how it plays. But if it doesn't suit you, to how does it feel? How does the shape disperse its weight? So on and so forth. That's just where you go with it.
Well,
I love it, man. It's very cool.
I'm really digging it too, man. Honestly, I have a hard time. I said I like weird shapes because this Explorer's been out since '58, but
right.
Weird shaped guitars or non-standard shaped guitars, to me, sometimes it takes a minute to get used to for me. Like, I'll say, it's okay, not really like it, but then it'll grow on me.
Sure.
The second I saw your guitar, I was like, wow, that's just beautiful.
Cool. Thank you.
Yeah, and I would tell you the truth. If I didn't like it, I'd say, you know what, it's cool, but it's not for me.
Mm-hmm.
I was dumbfounded how cool looking that is.
Thank you so much.
Very cool. Very cool. Our distinguished moderator, Mr. Ben Coombs, who hosts his own show, Canucks with Guitars. All of you there, please make sure that you give Ben a sub. He asked a question. He says, Scott, what's your biggest challenge when building a guitar? Biggest challenge?
Probably staying on a task when I know I've got these other things to do with it. Now, I guess concentrating on what I'm doing rather than thinking 5 steps ahead. That would that's a challenge. That's just how my mind works. But I end up, getting it done. And one thing that doing the fret work hasn't been my favorite because it's monotonous. Because you have, if you think about, doing your dressing, you're doing 20 fret, you're sitting there doing that 44 times. So, but I've gotten to where, I enjoy it. It's kind of therapeutic. My favorite thing, and I'm probably like gotten way away from the question, but carving the neck is like, that's the juice of it. That's that's the thing.
Cool. How challenging is it to find when you're talking with a customer and that customer, something you said earlier, you want to make this guitar highly personal for the customer. He said, "Great answer, thank you." You said your intent is to make this a very personal instrument for your customer, make it relevant to them.
Right.
How challenging is it to find exactly the right piece of wood as you envision it to be the right piece of wood?
That can be, you might have to find a gorgeous piece of wood, but just the grain's wrong. That's like, that's going to be temperamental routing. It might lend itself to be brittle, break off, whatever. If it's just not, sawn right or stupid stuff. You might be 80% there in like your routing of pickup cavity, and particularly with the flame maple, there goes the corner.
It splinters, yeah.
Yeah, you got to be very if you find that piece of wood, you kind of have to listen to it. No, I know it sounds like, I don't know what, weird, but you got to pay attention and take care of it, route it like it needs to be routed, and you got to baby it.
Makes sense.
I mean, I know that, but you got to notice stuff like that, or you're gonna have. I got to go back to the lumber yard today.
Yeah, makes plenty sense.
Paul in the chat. Paul says neck feel is 99% of the playability for him. Yep.
100% agree.
Well, yeah. I mean, you could.
So you grab it.
You can have a cigar box body, but if the neck don't feel good, you're up Schitt's Creek.
Yeah, I mean, that's it. I mean, that's the guitar right here. That's what part of what how you're getting those tones out right there. So.
What pickups did you select for that build right there? JB
and Jazz. Both still Seymour Duncans. Push pull, top hat. I won't call it meat and potatoes, but I mean it's just I don't want 50 switches. Some guys like that, but this kind of achieves the multi-tone guitar without having separate switches for different things to get the same end result. When you just do that when you're playing, Yeah.
Scott, question for you in the chat from Paul. He says, what's the future of Rosewood? He asked because he says he's a freak for the Rosewood fingerboards. That's a great question, Paul. What is the future for Rosewood?
I don't know. I mean, it's kind of like buy it while you can get it, kind of thing. But what does that mean? As far as okay, you buy a truckload of it, but in 20 years it's going to be illegal again, or however they do that. Does that mean they're going to come confiscate your guitars, like they do that to Gibson or something? So I mean, it's like I don't know. I mean, I always wanted to be organic. My biggest worry about guitars in the future are going to be made like recycled toilet paper or whatever, because any kind of wood will be illegal, huh?
I said, well, let's hope not. Let's hope it's not recycled.
Let's hope not. But you get what I'm saying, though. I mean,
yeah.
7/8 in the chat says, didn't they lift the ban on Rosewood? Yes, for the moment it's lifted, and I think you can get Brazilian right now, but I don't know how long that's. I don't know how long that's going to be.
Right. That sounds pretty accurate.
Yeah. So, Scott, that's. Would you say that the guitar you're holding, the 57, is that your flagship guitar?
I would say so, but the one I got in the oven is probably going to replace it, and it's I'm really excited about it. I'll probably the body I actually have going right now is solid black limba.
So are you roasting it as well?
No, in the oven kind of means that this is bigger speed.
Yeah, it's the next one being.
It's not torrefied. It's just on the burner, but yeah, I'm excited about it. I'll probably by the spring I'll have a couple out of that.
Oh, that's great. I noticed that on your Instagram page that you had some 57s that you had built in a variety of finishes.
Right. Those are 54s.
I'm sorry, 54s. Different materials. You even had a Filtertron pickup
Right.
in an orange one that looked reminiscent of maybe a Gretsch orange with with the Filtertrons. Did you have did the customer request that, or was that your
Yes,
idea?
the whole Clemson grad, they wanted the orange, the Tron pickups, the Bigsby kill switch button, volume tone, and a 5-way.
Brilliant.
And,
So it looks like a 6120. It's
Right.
the color. It's the color and the pickups of a 6120.
yeah, when I looked at that guitar, I'm like, this almost looks like a Gretsch that never made production line. You know, that's just what I thought when I looked at it.
Mm-hmm.
And I
Is
made
that
it.
all? Is that also semi-hollow?
Yes, it did have an F hole like this. So fantastic guitar. You know, same thing rang acoustically. Bigsby actually stayed in tune. It was really cool.
Scott,
Really
I
cool
think one of the coolest things about how you continue to evolve your line and perfect the models is that because you are still a player and a performer, you're road testing all of these ideas that you have. I mean, you're out playing them. I mean, you're finding out where the tonal center is for all of these guitars, where they fit, how you can make improvements to your pattern and to the actual design and build itself.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want somebody else to find a problem. You know, I want to work it out there and play it. I need to change this. I need to modify that. I need to tweak that. You know, because I mean, I might make it perfect for me, but you might say, "Oh, I would love it. It would be perfect if this was different."
Yeah.
You know, that's just human nature. But yeah, I don't want somebody else finding like a flaw or something I could have done better. But if you're gonna do it, do it. Don't get there halfway. So here, watch out for the splinters in the back of the neck. I didn't sand it quite as well as you might have liked. But you never good when you're giving somebody a guitar. But
Right.
I'm sanding my way up. I mean, it's just like it almost feels like even on the fretboard, like there is a finish on it, but there's not. I'm sanding it that high.
That's
I
nice.
can't tell you. Yeah, but, yeah.
So
Yeah.
most people that buy a custom guitar want it the way they want it, which is fine. But when I buy a guitar, see, like if I buy a 56 a copy of a 56 Stratocaster or a replica of one, or a custom shop. I want it to have a V-neck. I want it to be kind of on the big side, just like the original 1956 guitar. Or if I'm buying a 60s Rosewood, I'd want it to be a thin C, the way it is. So if I'm buying your guitar, I want it to be the way you want, the way it is when you build it, the way you build your guitars. That's just me personally. It makes it, it makes it like I'm buying your guitar, not like, because if I want to make a guitar, I'll make it the way I want. But if I'm buying your guitar, I want it to be the way you make it.
Sure.
That's just me personally. So if I was to buy the guitar you're holding, I wouldn't tell you to change a thing on it. I'd just buy it the way it is.
Okay. Great. I'll send it on its way.
Tomorrow, put it in a box.
Yeah. All right. I will.
Scott, another
Hang on a
question for
second.
you. It says,
My checkbook is right here.
Well, now. All right.
Scott, question for you.
They still make checks?
Just a question in the chat from Paul. He says, just how good did Leo, in your opinion, how good did Leo Fender nail it a long time ago? And do you build off of the giants before you?
Well, I guess he set a standard he didn't realize he did. You know, if you think about it in those terms, that's kind of, this is how you do it, and now that's how everybody else does it. But in a better way. It almost sounds mean, but it is. You know, this is so fantastic, but then, okay, if you just did this was, thank you so much for coming up with this, and now we're taking off with it. It's that kind of thing. It's, you know, passing the torch.
Right.
Pretty, I mean, I guess if you think the simplicity of how it is was just, that's the brains of it right there. Really.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna bite off of Ty for a minute, because Ty asked this question off camera, and I'm gonna ask it now. So say someone wants a custom build from you, and they're putting their $3,000 or whatever it is down today. How long from the time you get that money in your pocket does it take till the guy gets the guitar in his hands?
2 to 3 months, realistically, maybe 2.5 months.
Take us through that. Take us through the process of what you do and how long each part takes.
You know, you got to go through wood selection. What does the client want? Do they want a painted body? Do they want crazy figured, you know, wood, whatever? What kind of fretboard do they want? What kind of neck do they want? I go get that. I start, you know, milling parts, getting back to the glue time, the dry time for the glue and scarf joints, fretboard, putting a wood cap on if there is one. Most of that time is going to be on the end. You know, when you've got, you know, your last coat of lacquer on and you're letting it sit for 2 weeks to cure, so you won't get all this hardware denting, you know, and all that, and just make sure it's not going to scratch if you look at it. Get it buffed out, and, you know, just, it takes time to do it correctly, you know, and I'm not a big factory. I'm just a dude, you know, making a guitar. So, I mean, it's, but dang, I mean, if I could, I love making them so much I would do it for free if I could, but that's not the world we live in.
No,
but that's how much I enjoy it.
Well, that's great.
Well, that's awesome.
That's fantastic. You know,
everybody's saying, "Yeah, I'll take one. I'll take one."
I said this off camera. I'm going to say it here too. You know, the saying goes, "If you love what you do, you'll never work a day in your life." And
that's
it
correct.
seems that's what you're doing.
Working at it, yeah. I mean, it's there's days when, you know, I have to talk myself into doing a fret job, but they're not going to follow themselves. And, you know, once you get in it, it's like you're committed to, you know, this fret has to be this as perfect as that one, and so on and so forth.
So, even on days where you're like, I'm not inspired, I don't want to touch a guitar, you still work on that day? Because I tell you, I honestly, unless you're like, you can really take it out of your mind and get into it, I don't want you working on my neck heel if you're not in the mood to work on it.
Oh yeah, and I believe in that because it's so much more easier to go fishing. But it's, you know, you got to talk yourself into it, and that's I'll try to do that. But there's days I don't want to build a toothpick, you know. But
yeah,
once you get started and get in your rhythm, you know, it finds you, you know, and you can't you love the instrument, you love the end result so much you can't. If I'm that bad off as far as that bad of a day, yeah, I'm not. It's not worth it. If I don't care,
Yeah,
then I'm not doing it.
exactly.
No,
I mean,
yeah.
because you're gonna screw it up somehow.
Sure.
You know,
If your heart isn't in it, yeah.
exactly.
That's
The really cool comment in the chat. It says, "How cool is it to create something that then passes on to inspire someone else to create?" He says, "Good karma." And then Paul asked a question in the chat. He says, "Scott, where do you land on the Tonewood debate?"
your hands. I mean, that, I know, yeah, you can hear differences, but I'm just a firm believer in it's your hands, period. That white guitar with a maple board has just as much teeth as this Brazilian board. Is that the fingerboard? Is that the pickup? Is that the body? I mean, this is 2 wood, semi-hollow, dried out poplar. You know what I mean? I just think so much of it is in your hands. I just believe that.
Yeah.
I've heard it. I've witnessed it, and it's cool.
What did Ed say in that Wolfgang promotional video, Dave? And I'm going to paraphrase, but he said something to the effect of, "If you've got a great guitar and you know how to make it talk,
Yeah, if you know how to make it speak, that's exactly.
That's all you need." Yeah.
Well, you got a good guitar and a good amplifier. He said you need a good guitar and a good amplifier, and if you know how to make it talk, that's
right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
That's cool.
I mean, I think Eddie could have plugged into an AM radio and it would have had a brown sound. I mean, that guy was just,
Certainly will be no more of those kind of guys. Not like him.
Yeah, I was thinking about that. You hear about generational talents, and I would put him in an era of the human race rather than, you can't put him in a generation. You can't put somebody like that in a generation.
No.
No, he transcends all of that. Yeah.
I mean, it's insane if you think about it. It's like
I would even go as far as saying not only was he the best guitar player in the past 2 centuries. I would say he is probably the most innovative musician of this century, at least of the 20th century.
Yeah. And, that's something that if you had, aside from the music, if you had like Eddie Van Halen and Frank Zappa and Les Paul form a tech company, God only knows of the more gear we would have out there. Because those dudes are just like, yeah, you play guitar, but insane.
Yeah, and then if you threw Leo Fender into the company, he'd figure out a way to get it to market. And,
exactly.
Yeah. Scott, since you brought up Eddie Van Halen, let's talk about some of your influences, because I know that plays a conscious and a subconscious role in the way in which you create the guitars that you make.
Right.
Tell us about some of your favorite players and how they inspired you, both musically and sonically.
Man, this probably be another show on itself. Okay, Eddie Van Halen first. I mean, that's like, show's over now. That's the answer. Brian May, Tom Schultz, Neil Schon, just like that. Those guys that's what was out when I was, we were growing up. Yeah. But, then you get into, Warren DeMartini from Rat, George Lynch. Then you get, Nuno Betancourt, and that was like my dude. I gravitated. He he was doing what I felt like I'm on this. I'm kind of here, and you just kind of laid the path out for me, kind of guy, you know. But John Sykes, just Steve Vai, there's just so many, and all those guys had something to say, and they were convincing. You know, they played with conviction, and it was like, dang, you know, it was. I hate to say the music's dead today, but it kind of is. You just don't have, the musical. And I won't even say guitar heroes. You just don't have the musical heroes that you did.
Well, it's definitely changed, and unfortunately, technology did that to us.
Yeah, auto-tune makes anybody a great singer, kind of, but that's a whole nother.
Yeah, I mean, it is. You can't help but to be a bit nostalgic about the time period in which we grew up, right?
Sure.
I mentioned at the top of the show that that you were the guy responsible for introducing me to Van Halen, and your older brother is a phenomenal musician himself.
That's right.
And you and I used to raid his record collection and listen to everything he had on vinyl. And he introduced us to so much music, and it was an exciting time to discover all of that. And it really did seem. And again, this is a bit nostalgic, so it's a bit romanced.
Sure.
But it seems like every time you picked up a new record, there were exceptional guitar players all over that record. It was just an era where there was. This is before Pro Tools. This is when things were really honest, and talent was clearly showcased.
That's right.
And the era was full of inspiring players. And I think one of the things that I often have a conversation about with other musicians is we still go back to that era for inspiration.
Absolutely.
We've heard those songs thousands of times, and we still go back to them. They're still inspiring all these years later. It really was a special time to discover music. It
was.
Paul Fuchs just said something very brilliant. He said, "It's funny how guitar playing is both romance and badass." And that's absolutely true.
That's true.
Absolutely true.
Well said.
Yeah.
Well said. We need to put that in our intro, Dave.
Yeah, put that on a T-shirt.
Yeah, Paul. I think I may reference to you, Paul, but I think that's going to be in our intro, and I'm going to steal it from you.
that is so good.
Yeah. It is great. Dang it! I wish I would have came up with it.
Scott, there was a question about the amp behind you, and somebody asked what kind of amp that was behind you.
Is that an Engel?
There's no amp behind me. No, that is a Carbon V3, like the first batch when they started making those. But I hated the front of the amp when it came out. I just didn't like it. So I designed that in CAD, and then had a friend of mine cut it out on a plasma cutter, piece of stainless. I'll put that on there. That's what it is. So,
and there was also a question about your cabinet. What kind of cabinet is it? What is it loaded with?
Okay, that is a Soldano cabinet. It is loaded with the 75-watt Celestians that were in my Marshall cabinet when I was in 9th grade. So I have had those speakers for that long. They're fantastic, and so yeah, a lot of tight low end. So really, really nice.
Very nice. And then there was someone else that I posted a little while ago, but talking specifically about the 57 model. So I didn't want to interrupt you, but Someone asked if you would be willing to show your Les Paul to us.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh. There it is.
Oh, very cool. What year is that Les Paul, Scott?
97. It is. And there, let's see. Now you can't see it. There's a ding right there. I did that with a screwdriver when I got it, so I wouldn't be scared to play it.
You did it intentionally.
I did it on purpose, just to get it out of the way.
Really?
I did.
Yeah, that's very cool. What are the pickups that are in it?
JB and a jazz.
Very good.
Yeah, it's just peanut butter and jelly. I mean, that's kind of what it is. So yeah, this really.
Let's take a closer look at that. Let's take a closer look at that guitar.
That's gorgeous.
Thank you so much.
Really nice.
Yeah.
I like the fact that you took the poker chip off of the three-way switch.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
I think it's in the case somewhere.
So is that a 59?
I think it's got like a 60s neck. It was just their AAA Premium Plus.
Uh-huh.
60 reissue, maybe, what they were calling it at the time. I don't remember.
Yes.
I just saw the top. I'm like, I gotta have it. So yeah.
Scott, I mean, this is the best question of the night right here.
Okay.
And it's from Paul. He says, what makes that the Les Paul choice of a skilled luthier?
Well, the top speaks for itself, and I will say, it didn't blow my socks off. Like the neck, it needed fret dressing when I got it. But that got addressed. So yeah, it's just, to me, this is another example of art. Like you're playing a piece of artwork.
Uh-huh.
It's very inspirational. You can kind of like always go back to this because my son has my Charvel, so I'll go back to this and I'm like, oh yeah, okay, this is fantastic. So, yeah, it's just wonderful. To me, a Les Paul is like one of those guitars you could just sit there and just hold and just look at all the little. It's just just beautiful and curvy and sexy. It's just great.
Awesome.
How much of the, when I look at the 57, and again, I hate comparison, Scott, but it really is the only way. It really is the only way I can think of to be descriptive. And I look at your 57 model, and I see inspiration in that model from the Les Paul. I see inspiration in that model from, say, maybe a Telecaster.
The top horn.
The top horn, I'm curious about the scale of that guitar.
25 and a half.
25 and a half.
Which is bizarre. That's what I'm used to. That's what I cut my teeth on. I've been playing this Paul since '97, so you would think I would want that, but I don't. I want, my hand wants that longer scale length, which doesn't make any sense to me. It's like muscle memory kind of thing. But I could play the 57 for a set and then jump right on the Les Paul for a set, and it's not like this feels strange now. It just when a guitar is set up great and it just plays good, you're not gonna. I don't think things like that are gonna jump out at you, like they might otherwise. Look what you're holding. Let's see that guitar. There. Huh.
Yeah. Let's do this.
That's fantastic. Sweet.
This is a guitar. This is one of the guitars that, a buddy of mine, Chris Hubbard, painted this guitar. But I built this guitar. This is one of the ones I built.
That's fantastic.
Sweet.
It's
nice.
You can't get any closer than the original. This
No.
is exact. If you saw the original guitar today, it looks exactly like this. The 7th tuner, Jesus. All the dings and scratches. This is what I do. I do custom replicas of all kinds of things. But yeah, this is.
Sure.
Did I show the back?
Yes, cool. That's awesome, Dave.
It is. It's wonderful.
Scott, you had a Kramer at one time.
I did. I had an old Kramer Striker. And, anything on that guitar that I wish I had was the Floyd Rose on it. Because it was a non-fine tune of Floyd. You remember that?
Yep, I do remember them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wish I had that. But
I have a couple of those sitting in my workshop. A couple of non-fine tuning Floyds.
Yeah. I ruined a lot of guitars.
Well, that's how you learn. You ruined a lot of guitars, and now look what you're building. So
right.
It's worth
it. Which is funny. Eric texted me and said, "I got $50 in my pocket. He wants to burn my Charvel still." Oh God, sorry.
That's funny. So Scott, you've got guys playing your guitars. I mean, you've got guys that they're on stages, and you've got them. You got them from country music to rock music. So you've got guys out playing your guitars. If you had the opportunity to sit down and meet with a prominent touring musician, who comes to mind that would be a perfect candidate to demo a Scott Moore 57?
There's so many good players, and guys that I would pick are already Pete Thorne's one, that guy, insane. Ian Thornley, Big Rex, I mean, he's the monster. Just all these really, really great players that I would consider, and I would consider myself this kind of player. When you have a guy that plays a style. When you listen to that, you think that's all that dude does. So then he'll jump to something else, and then he's just as convincing on another style. That to me, that's fantastic. Because I am not that dude, and for somebody like that to demo or to play a guitar that that you can get several sounds out of.
The first guy that comes to my mind when you talk about that style of guitar player is Johnny Highland. Because he plays hard rock and metal,
right?
So convincingly, like you would think it was a hard rock and metal guy, and then in the next song he chicken picks like the best country player in the world. He just does everything.
He might be the best country player in the world,
right?
Yeah.
I
mean, Johnny might be the best country guitar player in the world,
right?
I think you're right. You're right.
I mean, Johnny Highland is the type of player that you never tire listening to, and he's so creative.
Right. Sure.
He's so creative. So, anyone else come to mind that's got to try one of these guitars, Scott?
Like a celebrity?
Yeah, like a celebrity. Just for the fun of the discussion.
John Five, great dude,
cool.
Great player.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Another guy that can kind of do it all
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I would love for Zach Wild to play one. That would be hilarious. There's, I would love for my heroes to play it, but I don't want to be in the room, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Just tell me about it. I don't want to be there. Tell me about it later. But yeah, that would kind of be surreal as far as, getting someone that, you looked up to for guitardom, if that's a word, and getting their input on an instrument that you made, pretty strong. Guy that you respect that much.
Yeah. Yeah. One thing that I find interesting about the guys that have tried the guitar, one thing is consistent. Like every single person that I'm aware of,
Mm-hmm.
either personally aware of or anecdotally,
Mm-hmm.
that tried your guitar, raved about it.
Yeah.
You're like batting 1,000. So, how does that build momentum for a small custom builder like you, where you really are custom to order? And
Sure. Yeah, absolutely.
So how does that fanfare? How do those big how does that what does that do for a small builder like you?
It's not like I guess you need affirmation, but I guess when you do that for yourself, when in my head, I know what the guitar is supposed to play like and feel like, and if somebody else thinks that too, then I guess I'm on the right track here. Other players that I respect, or great players or whatever. But both of these guitars back here are, a slide guy's gonna not do very well on it, the way it's set up at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
So, but
so say when I think of slide guitar right now, I don't know that anybody plays better slide guitar than Derek Trucks. If Derek Trucks were to say, "Hey Scott, I want to try one of your guitars," how would you set it up before you sent it to him?
I would set it up for me and then work my way up with the action. I'm not really a slide player, so I would probably have to do some research. What's a good, I guess it gets to a touch thing. What's the pressure there that, I know for playing, but when you're playing really good slide, what's that threshold? That's not really my wheelhouse, but I would definitely get into learning that. Or it's like somebody, I want this on play slide all day. So, okay, then I'm going to do that. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right, Scott, how do people, potential customers, other guitar nerds, how do they get in touch with you on social media? Scott Moore Guitars?
Scott Moore Guitars on Facebook and Instagram. Send me a message. I'll get back with you. Get you my email or phone number. Go from there.
Scott, you willing to come back when your new model is ready to launch?
Absolutely.
We'd love to have you.
For the record, I want a 57.
Okay.
I want a 57.
All right, let's do it.
You want to take a guess at the color?
Purple.
Purple is actually one of the colors I'm considering.
Okay.
Yeah. Good call.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Good call. Nice flame top with a.
I was going to say a flame top or a quilt top.
Yeah.
Right.
Ty, do you want a flame top or a quilt top?
I don't know. Maybe a flame.
Really?
Yeah, maybe a flame, and maybe we do something. I mean, do something really different. Maybe we do a maple neck and a maple board.
Yeah.
Hmm.
You know, I
Wow.
mean, maybe with. I mean, you were talking about you using big frets, right? Maybe we do something. Maybe something like a 6105.
Mm-hmm.
Fret for my little girly hands, and
You can do that.
you know.
You can do that. Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, I prefer the speed bumps. I love them. But
Why don't you
Well, you're
scallop
yeah.
from the 12th fret up?
That could be cool too.
I've thought about it.
Guitar
I don't
Man
know.
45 says go flame. I like the way you're thinking, sir.
Yeah. Yeah. I got some pictures I can send you of stuff I'm working on.
Yeah, I just
So,
want to. I want a
yeah.
57 because I'm going to say this because Scott's a very humble, modest guy. Scott can. When I mentioned that Scott goes out and tests these guitars, I mean he really does test them, and he's played them in a variety of settings, whether he's playing rock or he's playing a Bonnie Raitt blues song, or whether he's playing country music, or whether he's playing top 40. He's put the guitar. He's tested the guitar extensively and in such a convincing way that that you know that there's got to be something behind it. If it can get through a gig with all of that variety behind it, that's pretty convincing.
Yeah, I mean, I love being able to get like different tones out of the guitar. Particularly with the push pull pot. I've never been that guy to have that, but I'm like, if I'm gonna have something a little different, more functional, it's something to add that's not a pain. Really, you're not having to do all this stuff just to get a sound. You can kind of do it right there, and I'm digging it. Really, really liking it.
And so, I'm super excited to announce this, but Scott has agreed to allow Dave and I to actually do an official review of one of his models, and couldn't be more excited to be able to do that, and we can't thank you enough for that offer and giving us the opportunity to do that. And we look forward to doing it and recording that video, and then pushing that content out for everybody to kind of experience that design.
Now, when you send me that guitar, and I'm being all serious, are you sending me your personal guitar, or are you sending me a guitar that is waiting to be sold?
I could send you mine. I kind of want to send you what I got cooking, but it'll be one or the other. It'll be soon.
It's just that how long will it take for you to make that guitar? The one that's being made.
I'm probably a month out on it.
Because I tell you what, rather than you giving us your guitar, I would like to do a review on the guitar and then say this one is for sale. Buy this guitar.
Sure. Yeah.
Wow, that's a great idea.
Yeah, because I want you to open up a case with a new guitar in it, not one I've been smacking around.
Yeah.
So
I mean, because if it's coming to my house, I generally don't leave the house. It'll stay right here. It's not going to get a ding, a scratch. Nothing's going to happen to it.
Right.
But your guitar, not that I'd scratch and ding your guitar, but it makes no sense for me to sell your guitar if it's your personal guitar. If I'm doing a review and you're looking to sell your guitar, I'd like to say this guitar. It does this. It's made of this. By the way, it is $3,099. Buy it. It's for sale, or whatever the price is.
Sure.
I want to be able to do that.
Right. Okay. We'll make
And
that
you're
happen.
getting this guitar, not one like it. You're getting this guitar, not this personal guitar, but you're getting, you know what I'm
Yeah. You're about to confuse a lot of people. I want the Eddie.
saying? Yeah, I'll take that one, Dave. Okay.
How much? Yes.
You just mail me a check for $10,000 and it's yours.
That's it. Yeah.
Scott, these guitars are a work of art. And listen, thank you for sharing so much of your artistic vision with us. You know, I know that it's a deeply personal thing, and we can't thank you enough for sharing that with all of us tonight. And look, I hope a lot of people get with you and at least begin a conversation about how you could build, you know, a guitar that's absolutely perfect for them.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, and you know, this is all being echoed in the chat right now, and people saying, you know, thank you, thanks Scott. So listen, we appreciate it. And listen, we want to have you back when the new model's ready and Dave cuts the review. Come back and tell us about the inspiration behind the new model. But in the meantime, I want to talk to you about a 57.
All right, we'll do it.
Yeah, again, really, this was an amazing show. You're an amazing guest. Everything that you said was right on the money, just very inspiring. Everything you've said to me personally has been very inspiring tonight, and I appreciate you coming on. We both appreciate it. Your guitars are gorgeous.
Thank you so much.
I think that you need to give yourself a little bit more credit. I know you said you don't really know what you do. You know what you're doing, but you don't know what you're doing. I think you know exactly what you're doing, and you're doing a fantastic job.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I guess we'll have you back on. I'll get in touch with you, or Ty will get in touch with you in the next few days, and we'll throw a couple more dates at you, and we'll kind of coincide with your new build and see what's going on.
All right.
All right.
That sounds wonderful.
Thank you,
So
Scott.
what do you say, Ty?
Thank you, Ben Coombs.
Yeah, and
right.
Scott, stick around with us just for a few minutes after the show, and
Okay.
we'll say goodbye off the air. Okay.
All right.
Ty, awesome job. See you again next Thursday.
Always great to be with you, Dave.
Bye bye, everybody.
Yeah. Good night.